all, if you haven't watched my first video about Nigeria, you should go and watch that. I will link it in the comments below. It's just like a crazy thing that happened to me while in Nigeria. But then I want to give a little backstory, I guess. I actually am married to a Nigerian, so a lot of these things I probably should have already known. I mean, you can watch all the videos you want to, but unless you actually go to a country and experience for yourself, you're not going to really know what it's like. So I encourage you, if you are watching this video, to make a plan to visit another country. It will be amazing. You will love it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was that Nigerians are very passionate when they speak. They're very into it, like, you know, they're not mellow, they're not monotone. I've been married to a Nigerian for almost 3 years now, and I always thought that he was getting upset with me, or that he was like angry with me or something, because he would be speaking so loudly and passionately. So I would be like, why are you mad at me? And he would say, I'm not mad at you, that's just how I talk. But honestly, I didn't even believe him until I went to Nigeria. So it's not like they're upset with you, that's just the way they speak. So that was lesson number 1 for me, and it probably will do a lot of good for my marriage. So the next thing I want to talk about is awesome to me, because I love to eat, and being told that something is a snack gives me permission to eat more of that thing, or to eat a whole meal besides that thing. So to Nigerians, things like pizza or sandwiches, they don't count as meals. Those are not meals. Those are just snacks.
We think that pizza, sandwiches, even burgers are not real food. It's just like a side snack, or just something that you eat in between meals. So that's why when we met initially, every time you would say, hey, do you want a sandwich, or do you want pizza for dinner? I'm like, pizza for dinner? Why?
Well, number 3 is Nigerians are very innovative drivers. And I'll explain what I mean. You have to be the most creative person to drive in Nigeria, especially Lagos. Like, it's a madhouse out there. So if you aren't a really good driver, or you know, if you don't know how to do things there, then you will probably just sit there in traffic for who knows how long. So yeah, I will give it to them. They are, you know, awesome drivers, because I wouldn't be able to drive there at all. I can barely drive in Chicago, much less Nigeria. So yeah, kudos to them. They can avoid huge potholes that are all over the road. They can avoid other drivers who sometimes, like us in our last video, are driving on the wrong direction. Yeah, so, and then they have KKs and what's the other thing called? Okada? Is it Okada? I'll have Obi correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so if you can drive in Nigeria, you are a freaking good driver. I don't care what anyone says. Obi was like, wow, my sister's driving really crazy, and I'm like, she's doing a pretty good job if you ask me. I wouldn't be able to even get out of this airport, so. So do you feel like the driving skill there is much higher than it is here?
By far. If you can drive there, then you can completely avoid anything called collision here. Yeah.
Number 4 is everybody that I met had a nickname. Everyone. Like, it doesn't matter what your name is, you're going to have a nickname. So my husband, his name is Obina, but we call him Obi. And pretty much, like, that's actually a pretty short name, I think, for Nigerian. Most of their names are a lot longer than that. Like, you know, 4 or 5 syllables long. But they usually only go by a 1 or 2 syllable nickname that's like from their longer name. So yeah, pretty much everybody had a nickname. So number 5 is that cooking is not a sprint, it is a marathon. So in Nigeria, if you're going to make a meal, you probably should start like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours earlier, or maybe, depending on what you're making obviously, if it's like pounded yam or, what's that? I forgot what it's called. But basically it's like ground up like beans, and you grind it up and you turn it into like a paste, and then you like, I don't know how they do it. It's just, they make it into like I forgot what it's called. I'll have to ask Obi. Both my sister-in-laws, when they cooked, it was like amazing food. Like, I would never be able to make something like that. Probably the best I could do is maybe jollof rice. I mean, that's probably the extent of what I could make as far as Nigerian food. But yeah, if I ever make any other Nigerian food in the future, I will be sure and post a video about it because I will be so proud of myself. Number 6 is so everywhere you look, there was churches, there was like signs that would say things like God is good. People's even businesses would say things like God's will something, or I can't think of a lot of examples, but basically there was like religion and things about God and Jesus pretty much in everything. Like even like people's work, their business signs and everything, or the back of like akatas. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but anyway, obviously I know that not all Nigerians are Christian, and that there's other religions there. There's a lot of Muslims, but mostly where I was, I saw like a lot of like Christian religious churches and signs and everything. So yeah, that was like more than I expected. I really didn't expect it to be like that. Even in the US, it's not that much. Like even in the Bible Belt, you don't see religious things as much as I did in Nigeria. And oh yeah, and when I was staying in Lagos at my sister-in-law's house, you could hear people singing and like worshiping early in the morning, like, and it would be for hours and hours. I was like, wow. And apparently the service that we went to actually lasted like 3 or 4 hours. We got there really late, so we weren't there for the whole time. But yeah, religion is a big thing there, and Christianity is a big thing there. So you'll on Sunday when we were driving to the church and back from church, like you saw people everywhere, you know, going to church, getting into buses to go to church, church buses everywhere. So yeah, that was something I didn't like. He kept telling me, you know, things like that, but I guess I couldn't really picture it. Like I said, if you don't go to a country, you can't really know what it's like. So number 7 is that in Nigeria, I did not see people asking for money or handouts. People that didn't have regular jobs, or I don't know if they were homeless or not, but they weren't sitting on the sidewalk with a cardboard sign saying help. They were actually trying to do things to get the help they needed. So for example, there's guys that would sit at the side of the road with like shovels, and when you saw that they had a shovel, that meant they wanted to work. So you would just come to them and say, hey, I have this job for you to do, and I'll pay you such and such. So yeah, they were just showing that they were ready to work with the shovel. So I thought that was really cool. Like, they're not asking for a handout, they're actually wanting to work for the money. So that was good. And also, there's a lot of like hustles. Like, there's a lot of little shops by the sides of the roads. You know, people are what they call hawking, which is selling things to people as they drive by. Yeah, just a lot of hard work is what I saw, and a lot of people putting a lot of effort into their jobs. So another thing that maybe Nigerians wouldn't be impressed with, but I'm impressed with as a U.S. citizen, is everyone I met knew 2 languages. Everyone. Because English is the official language of Nigeria, so everyone knew English. And then everyone also knew their tribal language. So for example, my husband's tribe is Igbo, so his family knows English and Igbo, and some people even knew, more than 2 languages. My sister-in-law can speak Igbo, Yoruba, and English, and maybe something else, I'm not sure, but I was just so impressed with the fact that everyone knew 2 languages. So a lot of the women and men, I guess men too, I don't know if it's called the same thing for women and men, but they wear something called Ankara, and it looks really fancy to me. It's like a printed, of course I'll show some videos of it, but it's like a printed material, and they make it into these traditional outfits, and it looks super nice to me. I was like, why are all these people dressed up? Everyone's dressed up. Are they all going to church? Are they all going to a wedding or something? But yeah, I was impressed with how well people dress, even to just walk to the market or to work. Of course, my sister-in-law was laughing at me because, this is just normal for them. It's not fancy, it's just normal. But I was like, these are fancy clothes these people are wearing. But I think it's called Ankara, and then you can also call it either native or traditional wear. But it was everywhere. Almost everyone was wearing things like that. So number 10 is, you don't have to go to a drive-thru to get food on your way home. You don't have to go basically anywhere else except for just drive on your normal route home to get anything, because they have what they call hawking, where people just are on the roads and they're coming up to your car, and they have food, they have snacks, they have water, they have chargers, they have purses, they have pretty much anything you can imagine you can buy on your commute home. Granted, if you live in Lagos, your commute home is probably 2 hours or something, but wow, that was cool to me. I was like, wow, I would get so fat here because I would just be buying food the whole way home. Oh, one thing I forgot to talk about was humidity. Do you remember the humidity when we first got there?
Nope, that took me by surprise. The humidity there was just...
Talking about the humidity, that wasn't one of the things I put in my list of 10 things, but definitely that was a big deal. The humidity was between 95 and 99% pretty much the whole time that we were there. So basically you took a shower, and once you stopped taking a shower, it felt like you had water on you. Even you just dried off and you already were sweating. So it was like, is this sweat or water from my shower? But anyway, so the humidity was super high. So I tried to curl my hair one day, and it literally fell out in I don't know, 5 minutes or something. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider subscribing and give it a like. Probably the next video I'm going to be posting is our Chicago apartment hunt. I've been meaning to post that one forever, but I was too excited about my Nigerian trip to post the other one. So yeah, be posted for that, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!